WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning, everybody, on this Friday morning. I'm Redrick Terry.
And I'm Alexandria Acamoni. Thanks for waking up with us on Local 4 News this morning. Join meteorologist Zane Satry. Zane, they did see some rain coming down this morning. Yes. How long will it last for us today?
Well, we shouldn't really be worrying about any rain, at least outside for the next couple of hours, but there will be some more as we head through the rest of today. Outside right now, we've got, of course, dark skies. 41 degrees is the temperature here in the Quad Cities. We've got 30s and 40s pretty much consistently across the area. No rain to be worrying about right now. Just a few spots of green on the satellite and radar picture with some clouds overhead. We'll see some more showers as we head through later on today. Otherwise, cloudy skies out and about through our Friday ahead of us. Temperatures will move through the 40s and then into the 50s. A few more showers and some thunderstorms possible tonight, and then possibly some strong thunderstorms as we head into the weekend. We'll talk more about those in depth coming up here in the full forecast.
Zane, thank you. Also coming up, the United States is now the coronavirus pandemic epicenter, what the current numbers now show.
Plus, food pantries in the Quad Cities are still helping the community. What changes they're making because of the pandemic.
And getting through pregnancy during the pandemic. What's changing for mothers-to-be during this crisis? That's in about 30 minutes.
But first, we're continuing coverage this morning of the coronavirus. Right now, the United States is now the epicenter of the pandemic. The U.S. now tops the list for having the most confirmed cases globally. John Lawrence reports.
The COVID-19 pandemic is growing exponentially.
We see cases doubling every 3 to 4 days.
For 4 consecutive days this week, the U.S. had its deadliest day of reported deaths due to the virus.
This is day 5 of quarantine and day 5 of widowhood for me. And we're clicking them off one day at a time.
And now the United States is the epicenter of the disease with the most cases in the world.
You got to hunker down, nail down, mitigate, get the people taken care of. That's what you got to concentrate on. You have to go with the data.
Vaccine trials are underway, and the shutdowns and restrictions across the country remain in place to slow the spread of the disease. But no state has seen a decrease in cases, which means the U.S. probably has yet to hit the peak.
I want to be clear, the worst days are still ahead.
Despite the uncertainty of what lies ahead, the medical world did find positive news about the virus.
The virus isn't mutating much. That's good because it's not going to become more lethal likely, and it's also going to be good for a vaccine if the virus doesn't mutate much. We still don't know when exactly this is going to end. I think that is still the biggest thing that we don't know.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Look at the numbers now. The United States has a little less than 86,000 cases and almost 1,300 people have died in the country. China confirms 81,000 cases and almost 3,300 deaths. Italy now has 80,000 cases and more than 8,200 people have died. Worldwide, more than 532,000 rather, have tested positive. More than 24,000 are dead.
Here at home, Rock Island County's health department is reporting one new case. A man in his 60s tested positive and is being treated at a local hospital. This is the 4th case in that county. In Scott County, cases have more than doubled from Wednesday. 4 more people are testing positive. These are an elderly person and 3 middle-aged people. That makes 7 total in the county. And last night we learned that Clinton County has its first case. That individual is between 41 and 60 years old and is in self-isolation at home.
Iowa confirms 35 new cases yesterday. The state now has 180 cases. Illinois reported 673 new cases. That brings the state's total to more than 2,500. 7 more people have died. Illinois' death toll is now at 26.
The Rock Island Arsenal is now taking more protective measures after an employee there tested positive. It comes as the Army directs all operations around the country to change to Health Protection Condition C, or Charlie. That means only key and essential functions will be done at the Arsenal, which will scale down its efforts. Staff there will still maintain infrastructure, utilities, and offer emergency services. Arsenal officials say only those necessary personnel will remain.
A lot of our parking lots were pretty bare, and that is because right now we are on what we call a mission essential only status. So those personnel who are essential to performing very specific missions and functions here on the Arsenal are the only ones that are allowed on the Arsenal.
The Army could still adopt its most restrictive measure if the conditions get worse.
The arsenal can still play a major role during the pandemic, even with those changes. Democrats are trying to pressure President Trump to exercise the Defense Production Act. It can direct the country's biggest companies to make things like ventilators and masks, and the military could be a part of that. Congresswoman Busto says she spoke with Army Secretary Ryan McCarthy about using the arsenal to do it.
What Secretary McCarthy told me just this week in a one-on-one conversation was that if we can get this figured out and how we're going to be able to ramp up, there is a lot of money that we can put into the arsenal to make sure that we are part of the solution during this worldwide pandemic.
Now, yesterday, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announcing the Illinois COVID-19 Response Fund. That's to help support nonprofits hard at work during the outbreak. The fund has already raised $22 million.
This fund will support local community foundations and organizations and nonprofits across the state who are doing the work that matters most to those hit hardest by COVID-19, providing emergency food and basic supplies, offering interim housing and shelter to those who need it, expanding primary health care services, assisting with utility costs and other financial burdens, and supporting children and families who are enduring school closings.
Help could soon be on the way for small businesses in Moline that are struggling because of this pandemic. City Council intends to set aside $50,000 in a revolving loan fund program and makes loans available for up to $5,000 at 1% interest to be paid back in 5 years. Mayor Stephanie Acree says the city can afford to lose them.
It's important to our community that our small businesses survive this, because when we're talking about revenue, we rely on their sales and their success for our revenue to support all the programs that we have for our community.
Moline plans to establish our criteria to qualify for these loans at the next meeting, and that's on April 7th. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds signs a new proclamation to continue the state's public health emergency declaration. Retail businesses closures now includes bookstores, clothing, shoe, jewelry stores, luggage stores, beauty and perfume stores, florists, and furniture stores. She says she understood that this will affect people in the short run.
I understand that these decisions will continue to impact the lives and livelihoods of Iowans. But the more, as I keep saying, the more we do now to mitigate the spread of the virus, the sooner that we will get through this so that life and business can get back to normal.
And with that new order, Local 4's Josh Vincent is live in the newsroom to talk about the challenges local businesses are facing right now. Josh.
Hey, good morning, Alexandria. You know, in her daily press conferences, Governor Kim Reynolds says she understands her orders are impacting small businesses, individuals, and families, and she says she's trying to do all she can to lessen the financial blow. Nevertheless, small businesses here in the Quad Cities are hurting. That is what the president of Bull Egg Hill and Davenport told us. He said he understands Governor Reynolds is trying to do the best to protect small businesses like himself, but the hardship reminds him of the historic flood of last spring.
The restaurant was open. We'd get people coming in, waiting for tables and everything, and we have none of that now. In fact, the restaurant shut down, ceased operations. So that's a blow. So now we're in a building by ourselves again, like we were right after the flood, and there's a lot of similarities.
Now, Harris did mention they have a lot of good things going on at Bull Egg Hill, and he continued to express his appreciation for people supporting his business in this difficult time. It is worth mentioning that the closure of restaurants, dining, and options in Iowa will continue at least through April 7th. In the newsroom, Josh Vinson, Local 4 News. Alexandria.
Josh, thank you. Well, kids in isolation right now are at higher risk of being abused. That's according to the Children's Advocacy Centers of Illinois. They sent out a letter this week to Governor J.B. Pritzker asking for financial help so they can make sure they're around for kids when the stay-at-home order is lifted. Johanna Hager says when kids are back, teachers will be needing to look out for signs of abuse in their students.
And with this new COVID crisis, these children are locked down. I mean, I've done interviews at least once a week since after the holidays, and for our small counties, that's a lot. I've had not one call in the last 2 weeks. So I don't think child abuse went away. I just don't think we're hearing about it. If there's a change with what they're used to with their students, that could be indicative of something else. And you know what's so interesting with kids? A lot of times it's just someone they trust asking them, hey, are you okay? Do you need to talk? Do you need help with something? And that can be enough to open them up to talk about things that might be happening with them.
The fundraisers held by the advocacy centers scheduled for next month have been canceled because of the coronavirus pandemic.
5:10 now. Food pantries are still operating during this pandemic. The Heart of Hope Food Pantry in Rock Island is open Thursdays from 4:30 to 6:30 in the evening. Its staff hands out food differently to follow the rules of social distancing.
We're boxing it up or bagging it up, and the people that are walking or are riding the bus will come to our front door, and we give the food out at that point. The people that are riding in cars come to our back door, and our volunteers give out boxes of food to the people that are still in their cars.
The food pantry will also deliver food boxes to seniors and people who are disabled on Fridays. You can call the office if you're interested in getting a box.
A program that helps migrant workers is also being affected by the coronavirus. There are currently 15 students in the Quad Cities area who are enrolled in the Illinois Migrant Council program. The program helps farm and seasonal farm workers with getting a higher education, finding a job after graduation, health resources, and more. Some students are currently taking online classes, but some can't get what they need online.
We're primarily concerned with those individuals whose training cannot be done online, like our welders. Of course, that's all hands-on training, and our barbers, they hands-on training as well. So we're not sure how this is going to affect whether or not they have to retake the course.
The Illinois Migrant Council covers 12 counties.
You can now hold on to any books you checked out at the Bettendorf Public Library. It suspended automated book return services until the library reopens. Due dates on library material are now extended through May 18th. The library offers ebooks, digital magazines, and music downloads on its website. You can register for a library card online if you don't have one already. Coming up, operating nonprofits during the pandemic.
What grants are now available to sustain their work? That's in our next half hour.
And we've got some clouds outside this morning, got some more rain on the way today, and some thunderstorm chances as well. We'll talk about the severe weather threat as we head into the weekend. Coming up next in the forecast here on Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with Frederick Terry, Alexandria Ikamoni, and meteorologist Zane Satry. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.